What has gone on at Tannadice?
Oh my God!
There was an unsavoury incident at the end. Jack Mckenzie seemingly hit by something on the head, seemingly by his own fans as well.
So some pretty bad news coming out of Tannadice after the game. There was a bit of a pitch invasion by Dundee United fans and the Aberdeen fans, who were obviously left reeling by the fact that Dundee United eclipsed them into fourth spot, threw a chair, allegedly in the direction of Jim Goodwin, who took off down the touchline and down the tunnel because he knew things were probably going to turn bad. And the chair out the away end has cracked Jack Mckenzie right in the face. And as you can see by these images in front of you, it looks pretty bad. A lot of blood. He's had to be taken off in a gurney, and he's required quite a lot of stitches. You couldn't really... it feels like on this Saturday there's just one bit of news story after another, and we've seen objects get thrown throughout football history, but I mean, you always hear coins, bottles. I'm not saying bottles are going to hurt, right? But for an actual fan to rip a chair off and throw it, I mean, it's allegedly a chair, right? But for a fan to rip a chair out the away end and wing it in the direction of Jim Goodwin and it's cracked Jack Mckenzie is nothing short of crazy, man. And this is going, I mean, you can forget about a ban. I mean, I have no doubt about it. This person's going to get banned, right? But what about in terms, I mean, we could be looking very much here at jail time. I mean, we are talking about a chair has been wrung from the stands and it is split Jack Mackenzie's dome open. A lot of blood. The guy has required a lot of staples. You never want to see this. And it doesn't really matter whether it's, the smallest object on earth or, someone's won a 747 onto the pitch. I mean, you shouldn't be throwing stuff onto a football pitch. But Jim Goodwin obviously spoke after the match with BBC Sport, and he spoke about the fact, despite being a former Aberdeen manager, he's been subjected to this before.
Yeah, well, I mean, I deliberately took myself off the pitch as quickly as I could because, we've had previous with the Aberdeen supporters in the past. I've been hit with a number of objects in the fixtures that we've played against them. And, today I'm really disappointed to hear that young Jack Mckenzie has been hit by an object thrown by his own supporters. He's inside having stitches now. It's an absolute disgrace. It's probably taken for something as serious as this to happen for the authorities to finally step in and do something about it and identify these idiots that let down, a really good club.
So Jim Goodwin thinks the authorities are going to step in. There's going to be some form of a massive crackdown. I mean, you can always police better in terms of like bringing, beer, alcohol, bottles in that way. But if they've literally thrown a seat, what can you how can you police that? You can't really. So it'll be interesting to see what is going to happen about this. But it is a sad state of affairs that, Dundee United, right, do the unthinkable, let's be honest, because, I mean, Hibs catching Aberdeen was unthinkable. So Dundee United do it is maybe not more unthinkable considering the fact that Hibs were like 25, 4 points behind, right, whatever. But their own fans can't celebrate getting fourth and, going into, I think it's Europa League qualifying. So they can't celebrate that. Well, they come on the pitch, but Jim Goodwin can't sit there and celebrate it with his own supporters and his team because he felt the risk of Aberdeen fans losing the plot. And you know what? He's right. It's not like you can say that Jim Goodwin's overreacting here. It appears that all this stuff getting thrown, well, not all of it, but most of it was, he thought it was coming for him. And it appears to have been right. It looks like if it wasn't going to be Jim Goodwin, or if it wasn't going to be Jack Mckenzie, it would have been Jim Goodwin, or hell, it probably would have been a Dundee United player. So Jim Goodwin has got off the pitch, and I mean, he shouldn't have to run off the pitch. Like I said, he should be able to celebrate this achievement. I mean, it's kind of went under the carpet this season, the fact that Jim Goodwin has took a newly promoted team to fourth European football. What a job he's done. I mean, what a contrast from those days where he walked off the pitch at Easter Road with his wee duffel bag. Massive contrast indeed, but yeah, Good to see, though, that Jack Mckenzie was able to walk off the pitch, but requiring stitches, man. It's not what you want to see. You want to talk about the football. You want to talk about the fact that Aberdeen have bottled a massive lead here. They've finished fifth, despite being well clear in the league. You want to talk about the fact that this team, newly promoted, is finished fourth. You don't want to be talking about the fact that Jack Mckenzie has had his head split open by a chair. Anyway, that's where we'll leave it here. I'm sure there'll be more news tonight and all that good stuff. But until next time, peace.